Have you noticed that as soon as August hits, we start to see fall decorations, fall-themed videos appearing in our subscriptions feeds? I think we're all craving autumnal bliss. I mean, I am, 24/7, 365, because I am a emo Halloween baby. And while I haven't started decorating for Halloween yet or pulling out my fall clothing yet, I have been thinking. Uh-oh, you know what happens when I've been thinking? I get ideas. I've been collecting a list of things that I want to DIY/upcycle/craft/make this fall season. And I thought we could chat about it this week. And so we're not chatting with idle hands. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of mending. I do have a mend pile going on. I've got a missing button on this super cute vintage Lacoste mini vest. And by vest, I mean dress, of course. A missing button on my favorite linen chocolate brown dress. And some hemming/resizing of things. Like my Where Are the Flying Cars shirt that I made. I don't think I'm going to actually break out my sewing machine for this video. I might just pin stuff where it needs to be sewn and then we'll tackle it at a later date. But I'm excited to chat with you and also hear about what you're planning on your craft schedule for the coming days. Before we start though, I just got done with a day of work and I kind of feel like I just need to change my clothes. You know, the way Mr. Rogers changes his sweater and shoes when he gets home to cleanse himself of the demons. That's how I'm feeling. So very quickly, let's go pick a new outfit. Let's get dressed. There you are. So here's the thing. The last few months have been hot, as we all know. I think I've talked about it during every video this summer, which means that I've been challenging myself to put together outfits that are simple. I'm a layers fiend through and through, so this is hard for me, but I can't deal with meters and meters of fabric on my body right now. I'm gonna freak out. So to help, I've been having fun hunting for some summery basics that still have surprising details so that I'm not bored. And one way I've been doing this is hunting down luxury and designer items on thredUP for a fraction of the price. So let me show you some of the pieces I found and also share a secret or two about how I like to treasure hunt these high-end pieces. Okay, first of all, the base of the outfit. I found this amazing utility skirt. It looks like a little pleated skirt mixed with little trouser shorts. I love it. It even has the slit pockets in the back. Fancy pants. These are from Rag & Bone. Estimated retail price, $238. I got it on thredUP for $40.99. Yes. Cute. Our first option for a little sporty moment is this Burberry Golf striped tank. I love the super high neckline. Got it for $67.99 with an estimated retail price of $135. Also, this brand doesn't exist anymore. This was like a subsidiary of Burberry back in the early 2000s. Very cool. I feel very flirty, very sporty. Or we go for a bit more of an emo moment with this very basic mesh shirt. I love a good second skin top. This is from the brand Acris. You're not gonna guess what the retail price is. I just went and checked on their website right now. You can get this shirt for $595. That deserves a third blink. I got it for $37.45 on thredUP. We're feeling a bit practical magic. We're feeling a bit witch who still wants to look witchy during the summer months. I actually love this. Now, to finish it off, I'm gonna add a little bit of brown real quick in case we wear this into the evening. A little extra layer to protect from the wind, but keep it slinky. And now we can integrate this. This is a really cool canvas tote from Hermes, and I love the color with the darker stripe. And I got this specifically because my laptop fits perfectly inside of it, and I like taking it with me when I'm going to a coffee shop to edit or work. It just feels a little cooler than having a backpack. It does need some sort of accessory though, a keychain or a scarf. This bag is also older. I don't think they make these anymore. With an estimated retail of $575, and I got it for $58.50. One of my favorite ways to hunt for these luxury items on thredUP is to use the improved search function specifically to filter for the flawed gem items in the designer and luxury categories. So these are items with small defects or stains or scuffs that are at an even steeper discount. But 9 times out of 10, it's a really easy fix, and I personally take a lot of fulfillment in being able to mend it or fix it myself and add a little bit of my own charm to these items. As always, I've been saving my favorites, and you can check them out for yourself by tapping the link down below and using code Kathleen50 to shop my thredUP faves and to get 50% off your first order, plus free shipping. Speaking of mending, let's get back to our pile. Alright, we're back. We have our first victim. We've got my list of notes. Let's start. First thing I'd love to do this fall, aka as soon as possible, is I want to level up my sewing skills a little bit. Sometimes I whip out the sewing machine on this channel and I'm a bit of a fraudster because I don't really know how to sew. I mean, I know how to use the machine. I know how to connect two things together, and I've used patterns a couple times, but I'd like to challenge myself a little bit. And I actually already have some patterns bought and downloaded that I just haven't had time to take a stab at yet, so maybe sometime soon. One that I love so much, and when I printed out the pattern, I was like, oh, this looks like it's for adults and not babies like me, is the Adelphi or Adelphi top. My friend Annie has made this beautiful top, and I just love it as a layering piece, especially in the fall over like a sweater or a button-up. So cool. A bit Renaissance-y, historical-esque, which you know I love. So that's at the top of the list. I also have the Amanda blouse from Etta Designs Co. and the side tie tank from Sunday School Patterns. I bought those a while ago and just haven't made them yet, so perhaps they'll be coming to a closet near you soon, or near me. Outside of those though, I'd also like to make some sort of scrappy pieces. I really love these kind of tank tops and skirts that are patchworked, but in more of like a vertical way. That just seems really visually interesting. I love the texture, and I feel like I could save a lot of interesting and maybe unused textiles from the thrift store that way as well. Here's what the buttons look like that I'm trying to replace. Chonky and gold. There's gotta be one in here. If there's not, it'll be a crime. Chonky and silver. And if you have any favorite pattern makers, if you're a pattern maker yourself, drop the links in the comments. I'd love to learn more about your favorite sewing patterns. I know Sydney Graham has some awesome ones. Okay, speaking of sewing, I'm also really interested in just upcycling more pieces that are already constructed garments into new, maybe more fitted or more interesting silhouetted pieces. Like adding shirring to Oxford shirts, making some pieces out of old ties. I think my real area of interest right now is pieces at the thrift store that there is just an abundance of. Like, you know how when you go to the thrift store and you see an entire aisle of khaki pants that I'm sure the majority of are gonna go to the landfill? I would love to take one or two of those and see what kind of magic I can work with them. And specifically Oxford shirts, I feel like you can get really cool, like stripy or grid patterns out of those sometimes. And ties, like I mentioned. I recently saw a video of somebody making like a silk eyeglass case out of an old tie, and I was like, I don't really need an eyeglass case, but it might be cool to make some sort of pouch or purse using them. So that's where my brain is right now. All right, next, t-shirts. Now I know, boring. I'm just a graphic t-shirt lover. I really am. And there are certain silhouettes that I love. For example, I love a thick neck binding, a thick collar on a t-shirt. I love a more structured material, a boxy little sleeve. So I kind of want to try to discover the perfect t-shirt silhouette for me and like perfect it. Maybe even make my own pattern, because I've got a lot of t-shirts that I don't wear that I love the graphic on them, but I don't love how they fit. As we know, I've made videos about this in the past. So I want to dive into that more. Speaking of Sydney Graham, she just recently made a video about hemming t-shirts, and also speaking of t-shirts, this just came to mind. Carly B just recently made a video all about sewing t-shirts. If I remember correctly, the pattern that she used was pretty cute. Like it had a little bit of a boxy little sleeve, but more of a fitted body. I need to go look at that and see what she used. Anyways, t-shirts. I'd love to sew some of my own. Maybe do some appliques, or even find some at the thrift store that I like that are blank or maybe stained and do some appliques over it. I saw this inspiration on Pinterest of like zodiac t-shirts. I thought it'd be so cute to have a little Scorpio t-shirt. Maybe not even the word Scorpio, but just like the star constellation. Oh, wait, I kind of want to make that right now. Hold your fire. Relax. Also, speaking of t-shirts, I love a little body yaddy yaddy t-shirt. You know the ones, the big ones that have like a body printed on them, and I've seen some really cool more editorial versions like from Runway. I think it'd be really cool to do my own riff on that, whether it's using paint or sewing an applique body on or whatever. Or maybe it's not even on a t-shirt, maybe it's on a big sweater. I don't know, like a nightie. That would be fun. A riff on a classic is always a great place to start. Button's done. I've avoided wearing this recently because of that missing button. There we go. I could have sworn there's actually another one. There is. Oops. Good thing I have another golden button. Okay, next, speaking of shirts, I love myself a good shrug slash bolero, just like a little shoulder coverer. And man, if I have not been into the vibe of puffed slashed sleeves a la this, I mean, would this not be kind of really cool? The only answer is yes. I think stripes are having this kind of moment. Copenhagen Fashion Week is happening right now, and so many stripes, like little micro stripes, kind of polo-y, and this is kind of a fun riff on that. We still got the stripes, but make it a bit whimsical, you know? And if we're gonna talk about the slashed sleeves, we might as well talk about the slashed pantaloons. Some little bubble shorts like this. Should I just go to the Renaissance Festival? I think that's what my body and mind is telling us. I really just want to go to the Ren Fair, I think. But I mean, Bloomers are hot right now. Maybe I'm gonna be making a little jester costume, okay? Don't be surprised when you see it. Continuing down the pants rabbit hole. Big pants. I'm talking big pants. I love my Meals chef pants. They're not big enough for me. And by big, I mean like in the legs, like voluminous enough, wide enough. I want it to look like I'm wearing a ball gown, but it is in fact pants. So I have these camouflage paintball pants that I thrifted a long time ago. They kind of look like wrestling pants, like they have the thick waistband with more of a balloony leg with an elastic on the bottom, using a really kind of starchy fabric to keep that wideness. And I want to use them as a pants pattern to make some new pants that are even more balloony and barrel-y. I just love how that silhouette feels at the same time kind of formal and elegant, like big skirt, but also not super serious. Like it feels a little childlike, a little silly, which I love. I love that contrast. So big pants need to happen. I'm talking big, okay? And if you have a pattern that you love for big pants, feel free to send it on over. But I will reiterate, big, capital B-I-G. All right, you get it. Moving on. Let's talk about shoe buckles. I just got this idea today while I was looking at inspiration pictures. I kind of want to try and make interchangeable, like buckle-y things for my shoes. I wear a lot of loafers, a lot of kind of like platformy, workwear-esque shoes that have space between the front and back, the two lugs, the two soles, the heel and the sole. I don't know cobbler terminology. I'm very sorry. Anyways, I feel like that's the perfect place where I could tie or buckle a little decorative element that could be swapped out and changed. I know people do a lot of like scarf tying around their boots. That's a little too boho for my personal liking, but like some super riveted or grommeted secondhand canvas buckled on there, I just think would be really cool. All right, now my buttons are officially sewed back on. Cute. Okay, let's talk about purses. I have so many purses to be upcycled because I have this problem where if I'm at the thrift store and I see a nice secondhand leather purse, I'm like, ooh, I could paint on that. And I collect them, and now I have a little basket that I haven't done anything with. So I think it's about time. One of my favorite purses ever, this thrifted Coach purse that I painted with a cool morning star. I love this thing. I'd love to do more like this, although I feel like I've painted on a lot of purses in my day, and I'd like to maybe try something new. Maybe adding some interesting hardware, sewing through the leather, like with a denim needle. Speaking of needle, I feel like I just had one in my hand and it is no longer. Oh well. Bleaching on leather? I don't know what is possible. I haven't tried it before. Or maybe making a bunch of trinkets, like some button charms or some polymer clay charms, and then pinning it to the purse. That would be fun too. All that to say, I got a lot of real estate to work with in the coming months. All right, I just need to pick one. Move on. Ooh, okay, let's go into non-clothing items, more like accessories. Specifically, home accessories. I have been collecting like the paper lanterns, just the orb ones, whenever I see them at the thrift store or at a garage sale. One, because they're so easy to store that it's easy to just grab one and add it to the pile. And two, you know how I feel about a white object. It needs to be painted upon. Yeah, so I kind of want to craft with, paint on, draw on some lighting fixtures. I've already made my dice lamps before. That was kind of like a first try at that. But I feel like it'd be so beautiful to do some really vibrant, like florally patterns that then glow when you turn the lantern on. That would be awesome. I also feel like they'd be relatively simple to ship since they pack down flat if we were to ever do a sale or a giveaway or something. Just food for thought. As for accessories, I kind of cooled off on crochet this summer, mostly because I was working on a little shirt and then I finished one panel and then I was like, oh, okay, now I have to watch the video again to learn how to do the other panel. And I decided that sounded like a lot of work, so I never went back to it. I think I will, but I haven't worked on it in a while. And I thought a fun project to help me get back into it would be to make a scarf. And I've never crocheted anything outside of like a rectangle. So I thought doing some shapes might be fun, specifically like some stars. I saw this flower scarf and I was like, that's cool, but what if it were stars? So that's been rattling around in my mind. A starry crochet granny square-esque long boy to wrap around my neck a couple times. Why not? Why not? I'm feeling giddy just talking about all this stuff. My mind is filled with word pictures. Okay, next, have you ever seen this picture of Kate Bush? You probably have. I kind of want to be this for Halloween. I feel like it would be a good fit. But that would mean crafting some stuff, making the sun shield, making the chainmail? That sounds crazy, right? Please agree with me so I don't do it. Making props and like backdrops is something I'm very interested in. So the idea of making a costume that has a little prop I have to make sounds really fun. I also kind of want to be evil Clippy for Halloween. Oh, what's evil Clippy? It's just Clippy, but with a goatee. Okay, finally, I have a question for you guys. Is there a certain time that you start hoodie season where you live? I'm thinking like late summer when it starts to get kind of cool in the evenings and you throw on a little hoodie. I'm just wondering because, I mean, there's maybe there's gonna be a Thrift Gremlin hoodie drop this fall. Maybe that will happen. So just let me know like when you would want to see that. I've got a little guy here telling me that he needs something, probably to poop. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. This has been really fun. I love just sitting and chatting with you, especially when I get to knock some stuff off my to-do list, like sewing buttons on my debuttoned clothing. And I hope you were able to do something too while you watched, whether it was do some dishes, fold some laundry, avoid your work. I'm not judging. Let me know down below what you're percolating in your head vis-a-vis crafts, upcycling, making in the coming months. Maybe we can bounce off each other a little bit, keep each other posted on updates, and I can't wait to hear more. Thank you again to thredUP for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to check out my favorites, check out the link down in my description and use code Kathleen50 to get 50% off your first purchase and free shipping. Hope you're taking care of yourself out there. Stay stinky or else, and I'll see you next week. I love ya. Bye. Here's another one. Okay, here's another one. Okay, here's another one. Okay, here's another one. Bye.